sightings of this SUV and the tiger, and do you have a license plate? That people can
It's a white Jeep Cherokee, has a paper plate, and that's all I have on it right now. And obviously, if you see a Cherokee with a big tiger in it, be good to call us.
So, talk to the owner. I guess this guy was renting. Is the owner facing any consequences?
I don't believe so. I don't think he knew that Bengal tiger was residing in his home. I think if he did, he would let us know. Just like the neighbors here, as soon as they saw that tiger out in the front yard, they started calling the police. That's what they're supposed to do, because I'm sure he raised it since it was a cub, is my assumption. But you can't have big animals because they're unpredictable.
And what are the consequences for violating the city ordinance?
It's a Class C misdemeanor to have that tiger. That's all.
Do you know if he had any kind of handler's license?
No, I don't, as far as I know, with my animal cruelty unit that I have in Major Offenders Division, I don't believe there is such a license. I would have to investigate that, but it doesn't matter. You cannot have a tiger in the city of Houston. So right there's a violation. So.
Any idea when and where he got the tiger?
No, not at all. We are still looking at that. It may be tied to the one we found in 2019, or was it 2017? I can't remember the exact date. But this is a small circle of folks that deal in exotic animals. It's not a big ring. Most of them know each other from my experience with my animal abuse crowd. So,
how do you feel about people who continue to breed and sell tigers, bears, whatever to private citizens?
it's just not a good idea. You never know when that animal's going to turn on. Yeah, they're pretty to look at, and they're very expensive to have them. And if that tiger was to get out and start doing some damage yesterday, I'm sure one of these citizens would have shot the tiger. We had plenty of neighbors out here with guns, and we don't want to see that. It's not the animal's fault. It's the breeder's fault. It's unacceptable. It shouldn't be happening at all. Yes, ma'am.
Where is this tiger going to end up once he's gone?
We have the last one we took, I believe there's a sanctuary outside of Dallas, Texas, is where that one ended up, and he'll be there for the rest of his life.
Okay, and then who did this guy murder?
Don't know. Haven't looked into any of that. My main concern right now is finding him and the tiger, getting the charge for evading arrest, which will revoke his bond. Once we get all that situated, then we'll start really looking into other things. So I've got a lot going on right now with him, just trying to get him in custody.
Is there anything more on the tiger breeders that you mentioned, or will they face any consequences?
We're going to look into everything. We're going to try to find out, once we talk to him, eventually we'll get a hold of him. We'll see if he'll let us know at least where he got the tigers, who he's associated with these animals. We had some bear cubs last year that we were looking for. Unfortunately, we never found them. So there are a few exotic animals in the city of Houston that we would like to find.
How common are these types of calls, these kind of violations?
They're very rare, very rare. Maybe one or two a year. We get calls and then it turns out it's not true. But for them to actually be happening, it's very rare in the city of Houston. Good? All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
That's Borza, right?
Yes, Borza, B-O-R-Z-A.
Really quickly, what's next for you? Where do you go from here? What are the next steps?
Finding him and getting all the information we can for him, and then we'll go from there and see what kind of charges we're going to be able to get filed on him.
What are you looking for here at the house?
Just evidence of where the cat was, and there's evidence that a big animal was living there.
What part of the house is he living in?
He had a little enclosure in the back. I believe he jumped that fence is how he got out. So.
Was the enclosure inside or outside?
He was inside. He was sleeping inside, but he had a little enclosure outside he could hang out at.
Was the enclosure cramped like that last tiger?
No, he looked like he was living pretty well. Looks like he's well taken care of.
What do you think about how Deputy West, the off-duty Waller County guy, responded?
Great job, great job. He handled it very well. Last thing I wanted to see was that tiger get shot because you have an owner that's being foolish, and he did a very good job controlling the situation.
Any idea how old that tiger is?
I don't. No idea. All right. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
What's your first name? I'm sorry.
Ronald.
Yeah, he got it.
I do not.